Ooh, that's a ruination. That's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot. Today on Commander Replay, we check out this GoFundMe submitted Saskia deck and find out what happens when the lands get blown up. Twice. Next on Commander Replay. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're playing some Saskia the Unyielding. Today's deck list comes to us from GoFundMe supporter Joe. Take a look at this opening hand. A bunch of lands, no green for this Cultivate. Not a lot else. We're going to mulligan that. See if we can do a little better. It's fine. Hopefully Phyrexian Arena draws us the things we want. Opponent gets it going off strong. Starts with an Exploration into a Land Tax. Seems pretty good to me. We pick up a Cultivate on our first draw. That's going to help us out a whole lot, so I definitely like that. Yeah, we're playing the Bojuka Bog first. We need to get that black into play. Just so we can get the Phyrexian Arena on time. Bojuka Bog, it's so awkward like that. When it shows up in your opener and you're just like, why can't this show up later when I actually need to exile someone's graveyard? Not saying you shouldn't run it, but it's annoying. I won't run it in mono black typically for this reason, and the fact in mono black, your number of swamps do matter. Because of Cabal Coffers, because of Cabal Stronghold, some other stuff that checks on swamps. So I won't run Bojuka Bog in mono black. It's a choice. Obviously, many people do just because it's a free source of graveyard exile, but I hate having to deal with that awkwardness, so that's what we're dealing with right now. Talisman for opponent. Brings back to our turn. There's a Temple Garden. Temple Garden is useful. Nothing to do on 2 mana right here. So I'm thinking play the Bloodstained Mire, crack the Bloodstained Mire. We'll get a Scrubland or some sort of black-white producing land. Ooh, a Triome seems like a pretty good idea right here. Do we have red yet? We do not have red. Let's get the Sisay Triome. And we'll pass like that. Opponent gets a Brave the Sands into play. Card that I always tell myself I'm going to use more and then never do. Grotog Night Runner. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. That's not bad. Opponent just generous gifted... Opponent generous gifted their own mountain to give them a 3/3, and this is going to trigger the land tax. That's a pretty nice play out of Champ. He's effectively trading in some cards to be able to get a lot more ramp and get a lot more lands, and this early in a game, it's a pretty good idea. Especially if his last card is another piece of removal. Like if that last card's a board wipe or something, then absolutely. Champ gets himself a whole bunch of lands, drops a few into play. Yep, it's pretty good. That'll bring it back to our turn. Oh, we've got choices now. Ooh, there's an Aura Shards. Not on Aura Shards just yet. I think the Cultivate first. Let's get the Gavany Township just in case. Nope, never mind. We need the green mana. Play the Temple Garden. Play the Cultivate. What do we need? We've got double black in hand, which we have covered by our current land situation. We're gonna need some red. Definitely want that. Probably drop that right into play. Gonna need triple white at some point. Yeah, I guess we'll get a Plains then. Put the mountain straight into play, Plains into the hand, and we'll pass like that. So Joe, the deck's creator, said he wants his deck to be a little bit more aggro, but he said it's feeling a little bit mid-range. And so this is an interesting point to talk about, because the best aggro decks are actually mid-range decks. Commander doesn't work like red deck wins in Standard. You can't curve out with 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, and expect to kill a table while also being able to survive a board wipe and rebuild and be able to do big enough stuff later in the game. Aggro in Commander is going to look more like curving out on your 3, 4, 5, 6 CMC cards, and maybe if you've got a big 7. Because to be able to do the amount of damage that you need to do, 1 and 2 drops just aren't going to get you there for the most part. What 1 and 2 drop creatures especially are good for is abilities. Like, that's where you're going to find like your Hate Bearers, your Stoneforge Mystic, your Pure Steel Paladin, Remorseful Cleric, all that kind of good stuff. The abilities on those cards are really good, and they will give you a little bit of damage, but you don't want them to be the main source of damage. You want that to come from your bigger stuff, because bigger things are just more well-suited to doing lots of damage that you need to take players out of the game. So that's kind of the way that I think about it, and realistically, if you just try to aggro everyone out as fast as you possibly can, they're gonna fire removal at you. And one of the things that I learned in all of my years of playing aggro is that you need to keep reinforcing your position through the first 5 or 6 turns or so when you're playing aggro, which means you don't necessarily have mana left to be able to hold up protection on stuff. So occasionally you might catch a Selfless Spirit in there, but if you're trying to hold up Heroic Intervention, Teferi's Protection, any of that sort of stuff, you're probably not going to have the mana to do it because you need to keep putting creatures onto the battlefield to be able to get the damage that you're looking for. So you are better off playing it as an aggressive mid-range strategy than just trying to go full aggro and win the game as fast as possible. It's going to allow you to be much more balanced for many more types of game situations, but we can still try to tweak some dials to maybe get a little bit faster in some areas and stuff like that. While I was talking, some wildness going on, by the way. Opponent laid down a Nevinyrral's Disc, and then Champ decided to shoot it with the old Nature's Chant. Didn't want any part of that disc. So that worked out pretty good for us. And so, like, right now we're going on this slow plan, but the things that we're doing are going to set us up really well for the later parts of the game. So, you know, don't be so worried about having to be as fast as possible, because as long as you can keep the game under control, then you don't necessarily need to win on turn 4. Winning on turn 8 or winning on turn 10 is just as good, as long as you're able to stop your opponents from winning. There's a Serra Ascendant. So there was one card that didn't import when I brought the deck list in, and I couldn't figure out which card it was. So I just brought in Serra Ascendant from the sideboard because it's a fantastic card. So we're probably going to get that into play this turn. It's also, yeah, it's just, this is a great aggro card. I would absolutely run this. This will give you more of that fast aggro feel without having to commit a lot to the board. You're committing literally a 1-drop creature that'll do tons of damage and gain you life. So this thing is super nasty. I would absolutely add this in a heartbeat. What are we doing this turn? We need to get this Phyrexian Arena into play. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's get the Serra Ascendant into play. Then we'll play the Gavany Township. And we'll pass like that. So yeah, it's turn 4. We've just played our first creature, but I like the things we've done. We've set ourselves up really well to be successful later into the game. And that's the key. Don't be so focused on going aggro that you can't answer problems and you don't have removal, or that you don't have big enough things that actually impact the board late in the game. Now, that's not the case with this deck, but just kind of as like an educational tip on all my years of playing aggro. Here comes a Phylath for opponent. Yeah, this thing's kind of nasty, honestly. So it's going to ETB and create a number of 0/1 plant tokens for each basic land they control. Number appears to be 6 in this moment. 6 tokens into play. Opponent didn't hit the land this turn, but next turn, I imagine, they'll probably hit the land for this Phylath, and everything's going to start getting bigger. It's almost like a legendary Avenger of Zendikar. It's pretty good. Not really sure that was something that we needed, but here we are. Champ drops a bunch more lands. Yeah, he's got a lot of lands in play. That's actually going to be not the easiest thing to stop. He doesn't have a lot of other cards, though, but he is playing Sisay. So he can get things out of his deck, which is really mitigates the fact that he doesn't have a lot of cards in hand. Casts his Sisay, has a Wooburg stack open, but only 2 power on Sisay, so not a lot of things you can go get. Probably a legendary land or like maybe an Oath of Nissa. And Sean's not at all interested in that. So he's going to shoot the Sisay with the Path of Exile. And this is why you don't want to go full tilt aggro, because a single piece of removal like this, a 1-mana piece of removal, can easily shut down your aggro plans in a hurry. At which point, you need to be able to switch to a more mid-range type of game plan and actually be able to have some success in the mid and late game, because it's so easy to slow someone down. A Swords or a Path will do it, a single counterspell, so many pieces of cheap interaction. Just slow your deck down. Yep, goes for the Oath of Nissa. So gets a little bit of additional power when Sisay comes back to play. Puts him in a bad spot, tempo-wise. Brings us back to our turn. There's a Phyrexian Arena trigger. We draw an extra card, lose life. Path of Exile, got some removal for us. Sounds good to me. We could just go straight for True Conviction right here. As cool as that is, I feel like that gets us attacked. I don't know what our other plans are necessarily. I don't even know what's in here to really go grab with this Grim Tutor. I'm sure there's some cool stuff. We're a little bit short on creatures. I think maybe I want to see the creature count come up slightly in the deck. Oh, maybe we go for like an Iroas. Iroas could be cool. Although if we're on 6, then next turn we could Grim Tutor and Iroas. This turn, maybe we just maybe we just go for the True Conviction. Maybe Saskia sit on removal is the best plan this turn. That seems very reasonable. So play Saskia. We'll choose the plant opponent. They're hard to get into with all the plants. We will play Plains, I guess. We'll send this one into Sean. We'll send this one into Champ. Make sure that's still a 3/3. Kind of spread the damage around a little bit, because we know Storm's going to be taking a hit off of the Saskia triggers right here. And at the end step, I'll probably shoot the Phylath. Oh, Sean's not interested in that. Going to Generous Gift on the Serra Ascendant. Makes me sad. Didn't even get one hit off. Would have at least liked to get one hit just to gain that life back from like cracking fetches and all that sort of stuff. But I get it. I mean, you kind of got to shoot the Sarah Ascendant. That's not a card you can really just like let stick early in a game like this. So we hit with the Saskia. Champ will take 3. Storm will take 3. Got ourselves a 3/3 Elephant now, and we'll pass like that. Yeah, and that was also why I didn't want to just like run down a True Conviction. If, you know, people still have removal in hands like that. You don't want to just get your True Conviction killed, so. But next turn, I'm feeling the maybe go for Iroas, and then after that, we could think about like True Conviction into Iroas and get busy that way. Seems like it could be a plan. Oh, that's an Earthquake X4. This is going to survive. I guess that's not that big of a deal. Without the plants, it's probably actually a good thing, because now they can't just recast it. Well, we get to save our path then. So yeah, again, you know, the second someone brings some removal to the table, you want to be set up to go longer in the game if you need to. Right now, I feel well suited to do that. Got some advantage pieces with the Phyrexian Arena. We ramped with Cultivate. The only thing we're missing now is creatures. Mana Crypt into play for opponent. Ooh, opponent's got nothing happening. They tapped out like, what, 9 mana? And just passed? Maybe it was 10? Did they have a handful of lands or something? How do they not have anything? Oh, there was one other change I made to the deck, by the way. Elder Gargaroth is like 50 tickets on Magic Online now, which is kind of ridiculous. So I skipped Elder Gargaroth, put Adriana in its spot instead. Adriana, a nice, cheap, aggressive creature that can really put a lot of extra damage on all your stuff. So I just went for that, just because it's a card that I like. But there's certainly many things that it could be. There's Sisay into play. It's got 3 power now, so be able to get a little bit more. Could go for like an Oath of Liliana, which is a little bit annoying. Makes me not want to just slam a creature. There's a Rhythm of the Wild. We've run a lot of removal, actually. A lot of removal. A lot of the other stuff in the deck. We're not drawing the creatures. I do think the creature count needs to come up slightly. Not a ton. Anywhere between like 2 and 5 cards. Just to avoid hands like this a little bit better. You know what we can do? We can just go like Aura Shards, Rhythm of the Wild. That seems fun. Let's do that. Play Aura Shards. Play Windswept Heath. Play Rhythm of the Wild. Oop, gotta crack the fetch first. Need a green. Green-white would be ideal because of the True Conviction. We'll get a Savannah. We'll leave up a white on the Triome for the Swords in the Path. Haven't decided if I want to shoot Sisay yet. I don't know. We'll see if anyone else wants to do it. Lena coming into play for opponent. Lena makes a single token. Not the most exciting, but could be worse. Mana Crypt flip for opponent. Opponent lost the flip, going to 30. They're going to Rishkar's Expertise. We could blow them out so hard. I'm not going to do it. I could, though. We could, and that would, like, crush them. They didn't do anything last turn, which tells me that they have, like, probably nothing in hand. It's probably all lands. So, in the sake of letting them play the game a little bit, not going to blow them out right there. Here's a Rex Sage. Bet that hits one of our things. Nobody likes Aura Shards. But Aura Shards does give you answers against Sisay Shrines. Opponent's got to ask themselves some questions right here. Yeah, they're going for the Aura Shards. Totally fair. Totally fair. There's a Thragtusk. Yeah, real Magic card. Opponent's going to send the 5/5 over to Adriana. Yep. Opponent block with the token. Champ tutors up a Blackblade Reforged at the end step. Going to equip the Blackblade Reforged in their main phase. Actually, that's probably something we should shoot, but it's a 14/14. If they attack us, we'll definitely shoot it. They're going to attack us, so I guess we shoot it. We'll go for they'll gain a lot of life with the swords. Yeah, we'll go for the swords. It's still early enough that the land is somewhat impactful. Oh, is he going to bounce it? Activate, go find Venser? That would not be ideal. Activate, Sisay. Ooh, is he doing the Emil thing? Is this not Shrines? Goes for a Chromatic Ori. Okay, gets a reroll. Yep, pretty good for that deck. Gets a Sarah Sanctum. Okay, this is probably the Shrines deck then. Lets the Sisay go. We don't have to take 15. Love it. Love it. They can probably recast it with the Sarah Sanctum. Sarah Sanctum making 3, I think. Yeah, it looks like 3. Maybe not. I think Sisay's died twice now. Well, there's a Supreme Verdict. All the creatures going down. Yeah, it's fine with me. A lot of removal this game. A lot of removal. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Phyrexian Arena trigger. Yep. Gratuitous Violence and Bountiful Promenade. I think now we go for the Iroas. Play Grim Tutor. Oh, we can get Xenagos. Xenagos might be better. I just like Iroas, though. I've been wanting to slam things with Iroas for so long. Oh, man. We could also just go for more card draw since we don't seem to be hitting our creatures with any sort of regularity. Nah, I'm feeling Iroas. Grab Iroas, play the Promenade, play Iroas. leave up path. Oh, we can give it haste, can't we? Yes, we can. It's not going to be a creature, though, is it? So we have 1, 2, 3. No, we've only got 3 devotion, so let's go for the +1/+1 counter. It's got a counter on it. And we'll pass like that. And next turn we can go like Gratuitous Violence or True Conviction. That'll be exciting. Adriana into play for opponent. Yep. Phylath coming back to play. Oh, we could shoot it right now. We probably should. But then Sisay's just going to come back. Yeah, I'll see what happens. See what happens. Landfall trigger. Going to put 4 counters on a plant. Yep. A Vine Lasher Kudzu coming in. Yep. Did that out of order, it appears. Swiftfoot Boots. No mana to equip. Yeah, and that's why the Phylath was actually safer in play. I don't know that I would have board wiped last turn. There wasn't like that much in play. It was like Phylath and a Thragtusk, which is it's a little bit of damage, but it's not. I would say that this is worse. Like what happens after the board wipe is much worse. There's a Council's Judgment. Hope it doesn't hit our stuff. This is a weird card because you can't react to the target at all. The target is chose on resolution, essentially. It's not really even a target, honestly. What got voted for? Game log. Champ votes for Swiftfoot Boots. I will also vote for Swiftfoot Boots in hopes that Iroas doesn't get exiled. 3 votes for Swiftfoot Boots. Down go the boots. Sisay back to play. Yep. Not looking to equip the Blackblade Reforged. Interesting. What else does he have? Teferis, maybe? Brings it back to our turn. There's Phyrexian Arena trigger. Ooh, another tutor. Yeah. Do we go for Xenagos and just like, assemble Godtron? Huh. What do we tutor for? We could get Aurelia. We could get Aurelia. We could get Samut. Samut is pretty cool. Fiery Emancipation's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think we're really in a position for that. We've been like missing all of the creatures, which is kind of awkward. We do need to be careful of like just getting attacked by stuff. I think I'm going to go for Arcane Signet, True Conviction, Sit on Path. Does not animate Iroas yet. 7 loyalty is so much. There's Blasphemous Act. So much removal this game. Someone's going to activate the old Sisay. Yep, let's see what they get. If they get a red legendary land, then they could activate it again. They're going to get an Oath of Chandra. Do 3 damage to target creature and opponent controls. That'll be the Adriana. Board gets wiped again. I'm glad we're on this enchantment plan right now. All the stuff I was talking about earlier, illustrating my point perfectly. You want to have some ability to set up for the late game. Next turn, people are going to get smacked. Planning to go Demonic Tutor into Aurelia, which will animate Iroas. They're both going to have double strike. We could put a +1/+1 counter on it. That's going to be some damage. Phylath, coming back to play, making more plants. Everyone asking who has the board wipe this time. Sword of the Animist into play. Storm says, his army in a can is still cooking. Yeah? Did I introduce opponents this game? Oh god, I don't even think I did. Turn 9, no big deal. Sean, piloting Adriana. We've seen this deck a few times. It wants to make tokens, give them melee, hit you over the head real hard. Storm, piloting Phylath. Sort of like Avenger of Zendikar on a creature that's legendary. The landfall only affects 1 creature, though, and puts 4 counters on it, but still pretty good. It can kind of overwhelm you in a hurry if you don't have the right type of removal to deal with it, so that's a thing. And Champion Athune, piloting Sisay Weatherlight Captain. Looks like they're trying to do the Shrines thing, but a lot of removal getting in their way, slowing them down. Sisay back to play. Yep. Brings it back to our turn, Phyrexian Arena trigger. Ooh, Grand Abolisher. Me likey. There's a pretty good chance if we play it, Champ might forget to activate before it resolves. And that's also a Shalai. How much is Saskia this turn? Saskia is going to be 6. How much mana do we have? We're going to have 9 mana. Let's start with the Grand Abolisher. Champ recognizing that he needs to activate Sisay before Abolisher comes in, at least if he wants to do something during our turn. Activating Sisay. That's going to be an Oath of Liliana. Is this not Shrines? So each opponent sacrifices a creature, but not doing that much. I don't know why he didn't equip Blackblade. Confused about what he's doing. Activate the Chromatic Orrery. Oh no, Deglamour on Iroas. No. You don't even know how sad that makes me. Would I go tutor for it again? I might. We have 2 options here. Oh, that's going to be pretty disappointing without Iroas, actually. So the thing we can do, we could cast Saskia and then swing into like Sean. Oh, he's gonna shoot all of our stuff, huh? Okay. True conviction going down, all the things that I wanted. I am now annoyed. I wanted all of these things. Well, this means war. Going haste to the +1/+1 counter with double strike gone. I don't think the haste matters that much. I'll take the +1/+1 counter. I'm going to shoot Sisay out of spite. I'm going to play Shalai. I'm going to put a plus counter on this as well. The haste just doesn't wow me with true conviction going down. And then we'll play the demonic tutor. We are getting low on cards. Definitely something to say about some card draw. But I also kind of just want to like get some creatures and start putting the damage down. We have a Rishkar's expertise. We have a Great Henge. Ruinous Ultimatum is a real magic card. Aurelia without double strike is so much less exciting. Necro and draw million. Necro is probably the safest bet. Hope we have triple black. 1, 2, we do not. Ew. That's not good. Anyone play an Urborg? Oh, we do with the Arcane Signet. Woo! Need Arcane Signet to stick. Oop, that's an Aurelia for opponent. Luckily, we've got a 4/5, which will keep Aurelia away. Then plus counters coming in handy right now. One shot into Champ. Where's the second one going? Second shot into Storm. Sure. Mana Crypt flip for opponent. Phylath trigger. Springbloom Druid. A card that I might put into this deck, honestly. This deck was a little bit light on ramp. It was like right at 10 pieces. For a green deck, you could probably go a little higher, especially because you can get some creatures out of it too. I think Fabro Elder was one of the big ones I noticed missing. Shamanic Revelation. Oh, opponent's going to draw a lot of cards right here. Goes up to 11 cards in hand. They've probably got some cool stuff now. Tribe Elder. Got 3 4/5s. It's pretty good. Wood Elves. They're about to have another one. 4 4/5s. Cracks the Tribe Elder. Opponent going to send a big old attack. All right, going to send a bunch into Champ and 1 into us. That is a 4/5. We should be able to block that safely. Champ's going to feel this, though. Storm going to send 2 our way. The 5/5 we cannot block profitably. The 4/5 we can, though. So we'll block the 4/5 with our 4/5, and those should bounce off each other. We'll take 5, go to 19, take 5 Commander. Champ down to 29. Still a pretty healthy life total, considering the hit they just took. We're not going to have a 4th black for Saskia and Necro. Yeah. Don't love that. Would love to catch a Swamp off the top. Or have someone play an Urborg. Ooh, that's a Ruination. That's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. Was that necessary? That's not good. We have 2 lands left and an Arcane Signet. That mostly just got us. Can't say I love that. There's an All Is Dust. Cool, that's going to get everything else. Now we're in a really bad spot. Better believe I'll hit that thing with an Utter End if I find a land. We need 2 swamps. There's a Taiga. That's a start. 4th mana. Yeah, I'm going to Utter End it. Pass the turn. Should be pretty tough for them to... they still got the Chromatic Orrery, which makes a lot of mana. Maybe I should have shot that instead. Nah, Sisay's still really good. Mana Crypt flip for opponent. Phylath coming into play. 10 tokens. Ugh. Mina and Den. Plays a land. Landfall trigger. Rampant Growth for opponent. He appears to be priced out of Sisay. Well, this is Mangara. That can draw his cards. Excellent. Cast Mangara. We didn't want to do that. I think Sean's about to wipe the board. Oh, we didn't want to do that. That's going to hurt. Yep, there's a Rolling Earthquake X5. That was a huge punt. I saw it in the chat that he was going to do that, and then I just got excited and clicked too fast. Mana Crypt flip on opponent. They have so many lands that, like, they're just going to be able to keep recasting their commander. They have, like, 20 mana almost. Bala Ged Recovery. Opponent's going to return something to their hand. That seems good. Oh, my God. He's going to Rakdos Charm the Phylath? Cuts him in half, puts him down to 19. I hope he follows it with the double damage black enchantment. Dimensional Breach. Exile all permanents. For as long as any of those cards remain exiled at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player returns one of the exiled cards they own to the battlefield. Oh, my. What? What? Oh, God. This game is taking a turn for the worst. Dimensional Breach trigger. We can return an exiled permanent. Go for the Arcane Signet, I guess. There's an Odric. It's a cool card. Opponent gets their commander back, but no lands. So it does not landfall, but they've got a 5/5, and that's more than everyone else has got. The 5/5 might be enough to get there on this board state. I mean, with Aurelia, this is probably a game winner. Also, I assume if we kill him, that stops happening. Ooh, he's got the Orrery back. That's actually pretty good. No cards in hand, though. Draws 1. It's an Oblivion Stone. Cool. Cool. Brings it back to our turn. Breach trigger. Bring back the Taiga. Find a land. Play a Plains. Next turn we can cast a 4-drop, but there is an Oblivion Stone. Sean's got a Legion War Boss, and not bad on this board state. Sends a 1/1 into champ. Yep. Tunneling Geopede. Landfall deals 1 damage to each opponent. Seems relevant. I don't like the idea of casting Odric into the Oblivion Stone. Brings it back to our turn. There's the Breach trigger. Get back a mountain, I guess. Oh, there's a swamp. Don't have the 3rd black mana yet. And everything's probably going to get blown up before we can get to this Necro. Don't love it. Don't love it. Yeah, I don't want to get our stuff blown up into the thing, so just going to hang back for a moment. Oh, that's Feast and Famine. Gross. Equip it to the War Boss. Where does he send it? Makes another Goblin. Everything into the red-green player. Okay. Down for that. Down for that. Mentor triggers. Goblin gets bigger. He's not gonna block the Feast and Famine. He's gonna block one of the 1/1s. Takes a hit, goes to 13. Feast and Famine will trigger. Talani's Summoner. Yep. Gotta watch out for this thing, though. Our low life is gonna be bad for the Necropotents. Landfall trigger. 1 damage each opponent. Vastwood Surge. Search your library for 2 basic land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped. Ew, yep, here comes more damage. Losing more life. Necro looking less good by the minute. Need to find lifelink and then spread it to the team and not get blown up by this thing. 2 Geoped triggers. And we're down to 11. There it is. So opponent's going to send them both into champ and he's going to pop the Oblivion Stone. Down everything goes. Now we've got a chance, actually. We need to find 2 black swamps. That would make this Necro a lot better. But at least with like Odric, and if we find 2 lands, even if we draw a land, we have 1 more land to go in exile, we can recast Saskia, and that's actually meaningful damage on this board. Brings it back to our turn, Breach trigger, get our last land. Oh, there's a 6th land. Cast Saskia. I think I'm going to choose Storm, just because like with his commander, it can sometimes get really hard to get in his way. Swing into champ. Champ's got open mana. Let's not do that. Saskia trigger. Storm takes a hit, goes down to 10. Sean down to 16. Loyal Apprentice for Sean. Yep. Gonna send the 2/1 over to Storm? Sure. Everyone talking about how they hate this game? Yep. Pretty terrible. Mana Crypt in for opponent. At 8, losing a flip there could be deadly. Thunderous Rebuke. Kills our Saskia. That's bad. Back to the command zone. It's gonna be a minute before we can get that back. Need 2 more lands. So now we're on Odric. Gratuitous Violence. Hopefully we can draw like a cool creature off the top that'll help us. Sunscorch Regent would be super sweet on this board. Maybe not. It's just not a lot of casting happening. Archangel of Thune, that's the one. That would be really good. Any sort of lifelink's going to be really good in this moment. Brings it back to our turn. There's the Archangel of Thune. Let's get Archangel of Thune. Just need this bad boy to stick. Bad lady, I guess. The good thing, too, is that now if he hits Adriana, which I think he's gonna, yeah, there's a Soul Ring, he's going to get a token. That token with melee is it's a little bit scary, actually. So this is a sizable blocker, which is good. Here comes Adriana. There's the token. Token into champ. Apprentice into champ. Changes his mind. Other one into Storm. Yep. Melee triggers. Melee is not the best for us in this moment. We need to get our team pumped up big time. Could use some Vigilance. That would require Odric and Saskia coming back to play. That's a tall order in this moment. Storm down to 4. Plays a Talisman. Gets the Talisman back with the Breach. Mana Crypt flip. Down to 1. I would assume a Thopter will clean that up. Yep, he's going to tap out and pass. Breach trigger for champ. Brings it back to our turn. That is a 2nd swamp. And we've got lifelink now. So 1 more swamp to go. And we can use this Necro. Let's get Odric into play. I want to kill champ, but Sean doesn't have any mana open, and we can't risk losing Archangel in this board state to open mana. Odric trigger. We could kill... Thopter will kill Storm. Send in the Archangel to Sean. We gain 3 life, which feels huge, and we're going to put +1 counters on our creatures, which also feels huge. And we'll pass like that. We're also 1 mana away from Saskia now. If we hit Saskia, it should be pretty good shape. Let's see what this is. That was an Abzan Charm, exiling Adriana? Yeah, exiling Adriana, so we're in a good spot now. Although I think he can just recast it. Won't have haste, though. But still, these two can attack. Oh, that's True Conviction. That's actually pretty scary on this board. Yeah, okay, that's a thing. That's a real thing. Gonna send the Thopter into Phylath and the Loyal Apprentice into Champ. Both have Double Strike and Lifelink. Storm goes down. Champ goes to 8. Sean back to 19, climbing. Champ's gonna play a Planar Cleansing. Awesome. Love it. Nothing makes me happier than that. There's a Command Tower. Command Tower, Necro. I'm gonna go for 6. Oracle of Moldiah, Miri, Pathbreaker, Ibex, Swamp. Reasonable. All very reasonable. Ooh, and a Sigarda. Sean is out of action. Brings it back to our turn. We've got options. That's going to be 6. No, is it on 8 now? It's on 8 now. Ugh. Doesn't feel great. Let's get the Oracle into play. There's a Guardian Project. Could be helpful if things continue to go wrong. Play a land. Play a land. We now have 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I think we play Sigarda just to try to shut off Sacrifice, which is a form of removal, so I think that's going to be our best bet. How about the awkwardness of this Gratuitous Violence? I get why you run it in this deck, because it's really good, but like it's always been kind of awkward at 5 mana, especially at 5 triple red. We haven't gotten it into play yet. We've had it all game. It's been 19 turns. I get it, the lands were blown up twice, and if that weren't the case, it probably would have been into play by now, but yeah, you know. That type of card. I guess we also haven't been able to keep creatures in play, and this cares about you keeping creatures in play, so that's part of it. But it's a card that I haven't used a ton, just because it can be a little awkward like this. It's, you know, if it were 4 mana, it'd be so much easier to get into play. Signet for opponent. Champ's getting to a place now where, like, if he draws a card that's impactful, it could be annoying, because he had so many lands when he did the Dimensional Breach. We've reached turn 20. Cool. Hour of Revelation. Better activate Necro a few more times. Oh, we can see what we're getting. That's kind of fun. We'll go one more. That seems good. Down to 4. We draw the Beastmaster Ascension naturally, because Necropotence is gone. I've had about enough of Champ's nonsense. It seems like he's playing board wipe deck. However, choosing him right here doesn't kill him, and that's annoying. So I guess we choose Sean. Attack Champ. Also, we've got our next commander tax paid for on Saskia should it go down again, and that's a good place to be. Saskia trigger. Opponents are down to 16 and 5. We'll pass like that. Get our Necro triggers at the end step. Here's 4 triggers. We will have to discard 1. 2 lands. Pitch a land, I guess. Actually, Beastmaster Ascension. Yeah. Or we'll just never have 7 creatures, which is the other way that can go. Sword of the Animist. There's Wrath of God. Saskia going down. Back to the command zone. Need more haste. Corrosive Grip on the sword. I mean, I guess all the things that give you haste are permanents, and our permanents have not stayed alive this game, so even if we had them, Xenagos would be cool, but it would have been blown up by something this game. Chromatic Lantern is a card. Play the Sunhome. Saskia. Actually, get Chromatic Lantern. Let's get the Guardian Project. Keep the value coming. 5 mana left. Brutal Horde Chief seems good. Guardian Project trigger. Blood Crypt. Pass the turn. So what I talked about like 17 turns ago is sometimes you need to prepare for the late game. Here we are at turn 21. I believe this is the late game, and fortunately we came prepared. Smothering Tithe for opponent. Blackblader Forged coming back. Yep. Treasure token. Austere Command, enchantments and creatures. Oh my god. Alright. Yep, we know what we have to do. Really? There's a Soul Ring. Oh, play a mountain. Actually, let's see. We'll check on our lands in a second. Cast Saskia. Oh, we can just double strike it. If we have enough. Oh, we're not going to have enough colors to double strike it. I should have played Soul Ring first. Choose Champ. We just got to get him out of here. This is getting out of hand. Send this thing into Champ. Try and take him out. Down he goes. Saskia trigger. This should do it. Finally, he goes down. The removal is gone. All right. What's next? Play a Soul Ring. Ah! He's going to shoot us in the... Oh my god, are you kidding me? He's going to Boros Charm us to the face. Cool. 22 turns later, and that's how it ends. With a Boros Charm to the face. This game. There's a Vault of the Archangel. That would have been good. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Just, why? Why? Okay, so that game was pretty wild. For the sake of keeping this video kind of short, I'm going to do the wrap-up in a separate video, so definitely be sure to go check that out. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below.